Russini and Mike Vrabel. Now, this is bigger. Usually the NFL draft is the biggest news post the offseason of the NFL. But apparently, the biggest news of this year's post offseason of the NFL is Dianna Russini, a well renowned reporter, and the AFC champion, New England Patriot head coach Mike Vrabel. That's the biggest news, their love affair. They got caught at a resort in Arizona holding hands like this and hugging on each other, and they got caught in the pool looking a little coupledy, like they was a couple. And they came out, even the Athletic, who Dianna Russini represents, they came out immediately and supported her. You usually don't see that. Dianna Russini came out and said that now all this is misunderstanding. There were other people there. The pictures don't show the other people there. Mike Vrabel said, if you think this is anything more than just two friends, then it's laughable. And we just like put it to bed. It's not that serious. Then you had some people that did come out and like Rob Parker and said, nah, she should get fired just based on just the look of it because of conflict of interest. Yeah, Jason Woodlock, they came out and said, when you put women in front of these men, eventually they're going to be like this. When there are all these men, these grown men, big swole men, eventually they're going to give in. Now, after all this happened, the Athletic officially put Dianna Russini on leave to go into basically investigate this whole situation, because she did say there's other people there, but why those people ever come to the front and say, yeah, I was there? Nobody's came out and said, hey, I was there. I was there. Everybody, you've seen nobody come out and say, I was there. If your friends were there, why haven't they came out and say, hey, we were there? Why not? Nobody has came out and supported you saying that. It said look a little fishy. And instead of, if you've done nothing wrong, sitting in it and just letting the blowback be the blowback, she resigns. She resigns. Mike Vrabel earlier today came out and apologized. Said he had talked to his team, talked to everybody else about it, and he said it was wrong. Long story short, bro, these people was clapping cheeks. Mike Vrabel was clapping cheeks. And that's just the facts of it. If you don't believe Mike Vrabel was clapping shorty cheeks, then to be honest with you, bro, you're just being disingenuous. But let's be real. They were having intercourse with each other, bro. They were having an inappropriate relationship. These are two married people. You have an inappropriate relationship, and there's a conflict of interest. Dianna Russini, not only does she reports on Mike Vrabel, New England Patriots, she reports on all teams. And she could take information that's off the record to Mike Vrabel from any other team, especially if I'm a team like the New York Giants, the Miami Dolphins, and the Buffalo Bills. Why would I want Dianna Russini around me when she's in cahoots with my NFL, my AFC East rival in the New England Patriots? Why would I want to speak to her? If I'm anybody in the AFC, why would I want to speak to her? When the news coming out, you're doing stuff like this. So I understand a lot of people coming out and saying like, nah, bro, she should get fired. And it is a bad look for her to resign, because if you did nothing wrong or you're doing nothing wrong, what are you doing? Stand in it. Take that L and keep it pushing. Misunderstand and keep it pushing. But you know you was wrong. And instead of you facing the fire and facing the backlash, you couldn't handle it. So you took the easy way out and said, I resign. Nothing happened. So if nothing happened, let them do their investigation and let them come out and say there's nothing here and let's move on. But you didn't want to do that because you knew it was some guilt to what you were doing that day. According to Coach JB, shout out to Coach JB, Coach JB, he showed Big Smitty. According to him, Mike Vrabel got a call. He left Arizona State, drove 3 hours from Arizona State's pro day to go meet with you at an Arizona resort. Where's the friends at? He didn't bring no friends. So it was you and your homegirls and he came? Got two married people. I understand why you in Arizona, you were doing your job also, but you also having fun out there, which there's nothing wrong with that. But the fact that you came out and you said, you made a statement and you said, yeah, it was other people there too. The pictures don't show that, but we don't know none of these other people's names. Who are these other people? So The Athletic did what they had to do. They had to put you on leave, but you took the easy way out and the lame way out and decided to say, "Nah, I want to resign," because you knew there was some guilt there. You knew it was an inappropriate relationship. Mike Vrabel, he didn't say nothing. He knew it was an inappropriate relationship, and you couldn't hold that fire because you don't want to be looked at as somebody, a reporter that sleeps around with head coaches. A couple of years back, a married one of the execs of the Redskins' wife accused you of sleeping with her husband when you was reporting on the Redskins. So you have a history, especially not when it comes to sleeping with people, but you have a history of being accused of sleeping with married men. And now you got to deal with instead of you dealing with those consequences, even if it's true or not, you decide, let me go ahead and resign. Weak move. It's a weak move on Dianna Russini's part. She probably won't get another job after this. And if she do, then I don't know. If she does, I think it won't be as big as working at the Athletic. It won't be as big. So if I'm in her position, I would have just stayed at the Athletic and took my L. Take your L, bruh. You a female too. The Athletic, they would have worked with you. They would have put you in. They would have. You probably wouldn't be doing what you doing prior or doing before, but you still would have had a nice little gig for the upcoming 2026 season. Now you ain't doing nothing unless one of these smaller platforms, these smaller companies, sport media platforms give you a job. So you are good at your job. You're all great on television. But at the same time, you're a liability. You're a conflict of interest because you don't have P discipline, just like Mike Vrabel don't have D discipline. And you got people coming out saying, well, Mike Vrabel did this, Mike Vrabel did that. But Mike Vrabel just took a team to the Super Bowl, bro. He has nothing to lose right now, bro. It's a bad, even in this whole situation, more fans will be upset that Mike Vrabel has gotten fired for this situation than then there'll be an understanding of it because they went to a Super Bowl. Now, Mike Vrabel had a season like Gerard Mayo did prior, then we're looking at something like, yeah, you gotta get him up out of here, bro. The team suck and you can't even practice discipline. Let's get you up out of here. But that's not the case. The team played very well and got to a Super Bowl. So it's hard if you're Robert Kraft in that situation, who's also been accused and also allegedly has been caught single-handedly by the feds messing with prostitutes. So what can you really say? What can you really say? You know what I'm saying? So he's loyal to Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel played there and won Super Bowls there too. So he's loyal. He's not gonna do nothing. The Athletic doesn't owe Dianna Russini nothing. All they owe her is a paycheck. They don't owe her no loyalty. You do your job, you get paid. And she's great at her job. But she's a conflict of interest because she shouldn't even be putting herself in those type of situations. And if you just look at some of the clips too, her calling herself a MILF, somebody's just trying to. Sometimes females think they got to joke about their body and their sexuality to hang around dudes, bro. You don't have to do all that, bro. Just be funny. You don't have to be overly sexual or just say some outlandish stuff to hang with the bros. Let us do that. You don't have to do that. And if you watch the compilations of her just being inappropriate and just saying out some outlandish things on a lot of shows, it's like, dang, I'm not surprised she is sleeping with an athlete. Look how she talks. I'm not surprised she'd cheat on her husband. Look how she talks about her husband. So that's truly my thoughts on that. I think Dianna Russini, it's a bad look on her part more than Mike Vrabel. You know what I'm saying? They both look bad, but since Mike Vrabel took a team to the Super Bowl last year, he get more of a pass than Dianna Russini, who's just a reporter, and she's replaceable. And Mike Vrabel, a coach that is not a lot of coaches that take teams to Super Bowls. He's not replaceable, and it is what it is. If you don't like it, oh well. From a moral standpoint, yes, they both are wrong. But from a business standpoint, Dianna Russini looks worse than Mike Vrabel because she's replaceable. He's not. So y'all let me know if y'all agree with me on that. If you agree with me, let me know. If you disagree with me, let me know. You know what I'm saying? So that's my thoughts on that.